Alright, so let's talk a little bit about Nvidia's acquisition of ARM. So back in September, Nvidia acquired ARM for $40 billion. Big sum of money. And their aim is to create the world's premier computing company for the age of AI. Now, Nvidia's been known to dabble into AI and a lot of supplemental computing. Like for instance, their video cards now have what you call tensor cores as well as CUDA cores. CUDA cores are used for stuff like video rendering. For instance, making your timeline in Adobe Premiere go much faster, like really smoothly. Meanwhile, tensor cores is being used for like RTX voice, which I'm using right now while recording this video, as well as NVIDIA broadcast, so it lets you do things like, for instance, remove the background from your webcam and stuff like that. There's also NVENC, NVENC, NVIDIA Encoder, which is great for streaming and converting video from different formats. Why is it a big deal that they acquired ARM, and why did they pay that big chunk of money for it? What is the ARM architecture? It's a family of reduced instruction set computing architectures for computer processors. What is a reduced instruction set computing? Like for instance, you have a processor in your computer right now, or maybe in your mobile phone, and it's built to do pretty much everything. It lets you do whatever you want on a computer. A reduced instruction set computer it's condensed, it's simplified down to a specific task or set of tasks. So it's designed for a particular set of things that you want it to do in that device with that processor. So instead of making something that's super well-rounded and is okay at doing everything, you can make a processor that's designed specifically for one or two things, but be really, really good at that thing. ARM processors have been around for a good while, and perhaps that's why Nvidia saw some good value in it. And now, since they have acquired it, it's expected that they're going to start dominating that space as well, because they already have like tensor technology, and like their GPUs are right now being scalped and hoarded by miners, cryptocurrency miners. If you've ever regretted not buying Bitcoin back in 2015, well, like me, well, yeah, you feel that. You feel that impact by Nvidia. And yeah, sure, they can also buy AMD GPUs, but, well, you know, AMD GPUs. Pfft. Nvidia is still king. So yeah, big win for Nvidia, right? They got ARM now. You can do a lot more with their processors. Well, hold on just a second. Not everyone's enthusiastic about this development. For instance, someone from ARM back in the day said that Nvidia's Grace CPU is proof that it will compete unfairly. They're going to monopolize the market, apparently. ARM pioneer Herman Hauser has once again criticized Nvidia's plan to acquire the semiconductor design company, with The Telegraph reporting Sunday that he believes Nvidia is clearly showing it will compete unfairly if the deal is approved. His concern reportedly centered on the Grace processor Nvidia announced at GTC 2021. The company's first ARM-based CPU will connect to high-end GPUs via NVLink, which purportedly offers data transfer speeds up to 900 gigabytes per second. It's significantly better than other technologies. It's also exclusively available to Nvidia. That's why he's saying they're going to be unfair about it. Other ARM licenses such as Qualcomm, Microsoft, and Google have complained to regulators about the acquisition. It would be fair to assume that the other companies have quietly joined that chorus in the last few months. You see, this is where people are starting to panic, because they have this technology and they're not willing to share it with other people, with other companies. Well, guess what? They're now joining forces in order to maybe perhaps charge them with antitrust. And also, some people are even saying, it could be a security threat. A British government official added a new wrinkle to the United Kingdom's investigation of Nvidia and their proposed $40 billion ARM acquisition by directing the agency to probe national security implications of the buyout. The directive is ostensibly because the deal would transfer ownership of ARM, a crown jewel of the UK's high-tech portfolio, to a foreign-owned, in this case American, entity. ARM ecosystem partners I've spoken with hope the latest development is a sign regulators are waking up to the notion that the buyout is bad for just about everybody but Nvidia. Meanwhile, a lot of people are more enthusiastic about the merger here. Why should it be approved? What most of the naysayers, according to this article, most of the naysayers who have themselves been accused of antitrust and controlling the market as monopolies for decades are concerned about whether they'll have equal access to ARM technology after the acquisition closes. These companies want ARM to be Switzerland, but this may be unrealistic as remaining neutral has resulted in thin profits from designs and licensing. Who will own ARM unless it strategically benefits the company's core business? Okay, I get you there, but it doesn't mean it's still not antitrust, you know, if Nvidia dominates the market over everyone else with the acquisition of ARM's designs. You're essentially saying, hey pot, meet kettle, right? But it's still pretty black, is it? But hey, hold your horses, it's not approved yet. Guess what? Something just came up. This is like yesterday. A rogue ARM CEO and a centuries-old law are causing a headache for Nvidia's big deal. ARM China's CEO was removed from his position last year, yet remains in control of the company to this day. How? Why? Basically, it's a ye olde law. A stamp, also referred to as a company chop, can be required in China to give the final nod of approval in all matters of business. It can be legally binding too. In this case, it's required to formally remove, this former CEO, Wu, from his position as legal representative of ARM China. The man with the stamp is not in the least bit interested in using it, at least for that purpose, and that's a big problem for ARM and by extension, Nvidia. Really? So he basically has a seal. What is a company chop? What is a seal? It's basically this. It's basically this stamp thing. Back in the day, this was what you needed to, this is the equivalent of a deed to your company. You know, have you seen these? Yeah, they're seals. These are a big deal. Not to mention, I really like them. And so you gotta own this, the master company chop, the seal, in order to have, you stamp papers with it. You stamp deals with it. It's basically your company's signature. It is from ye olde times back in the Middle Kingdom, like in the dynastic period. And somehow the tradition still sticks. And so this former CEO is basically using this, it's like, what is this? It's like dueling laws in some countries where you can challenge someone to a duel or trial by combat. I find this very amusing. So, company chops in China, what are they and how to use them? In China, company chops are mandatory for doing business and they replace signatures that are used in Western countries. Company chops, sometimes referred to as seals or stamps, are mandatory for doing business. The company's person in charge or other management personnel authorized to hold the seal is only the temporary custodian of the seal. As such, the rights and obligations arising should be borne by the company, not the holder or custodian. Foreign invested enterprises, or FIEs, must produce the company chop after registering with the Administration for Market Regulations, or AMR. The company chop contains the full registered name of the company in Chinese and must be filed at the Public Security Bureau, or PSB. How is this a big deal for Nvidia in particular? The CEO of Nvidia and his founder, Jensen, as you can surmise from the name, is Chinese. More importantly, he's Taiwanese. This is a big problem for him. He understands fully the implications of this thing. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna acquire all the other parts of ARM, but not ARM China? Because ARM China would be a big deal, of course. They're the manufacturing arm of ARM, you know, it's safe to say, because, well, it's China. And there are like different types of chops: the official company chop, financial chop, legal representatives personal chop, the contract chop, and there's even electronic chops. Are they NFT as well? I don't know. I'm willing to bet that in the future it's gonna be like tied to blockchain and stuff, because, well, you know, I'm gonna tune into these developments in the coming years, because this is interesting, because I've always followed ARM. Most of the really good mobile phones that you can buy nowadays is, well, based on ARM architecture, specifically Qualcomm Snapdragon processors. If your phone has a Snapdragon processor, it's bound to be good, it's bound to be fast and smooth. Well, anyway, good luck to Nvidia, I guess. Or as Linus Torvalds would like to say,
so Nvidia, fuck you.
till next time, stay Tor.